Hello everybody, Bruce here, back with another video. Today, instead of doing a video game focused video, I wanted to just do a little talking sesh here. I wanted to see how this goes, just see how it feels. It's my first time ever doing one of these, and I wanted to see if these are a little bit easier for me to do so I can get some more content out. Plus, there's always a lot of things that I like talking about, and I feel that this is a great way to just kind of integrate that with my channel and just kind of see different types of content that I can do, see how that works out. But I really wanted to talk about a movie called Obsession that I just saw. I saw the trailer for this movie when I went to go see Undertone when that came out, and that was the only trailer that I had seen for it, and I only saw it one time. And I remember seeing in the trailer, I remember seeing the shot of Nikki, the main girl, standing in a doorway covered in blood. And I remember that shot sticking with me, and I thought that was very creepy. And then I completely forgot about it after that. Did not remember it. And then I saw earlier this week everyone hyping this movie up, talking about it, gushing grannies over it, and saying that it's best horror movie of the last 5 years and best movie of the year and all these things. And I went into the movie with tempered expectations because with how everything is nowadays, things get hyped for the sake of hype. And so I went into it, and I can honestly say that I was blown away. I thought that this movie was fantastic, and I honestly don't know if I'll be able to watch this movie a second time. I have a few movies like that where I see them and I think that they're fantastic, near perfect movies, but they make me so uncomfortable to watch that I can only watch them one time. Whiplash is the movie that comes to mind when I say that. I don't think I'll ever be able to watch that movie again, unless it's maybe not even in the background, honestly, because then I'll I'll look at a scene and then just be hooked and want to watch it again. But it just makes me feel awful watching that movie, and this movie makes me feel an emotion to that same degree, but it's a different emotion, and it's not feeling awful and disgusted. It's feeling so guilty and afraid. So if you haven't seen it, I'll go into some detail about it. Obsession is about a young man played by what's his name, Michael Johnston. He's the main character, and he has a crush on one of his friends named Nikki, played by Inde Neverett. I'm sorry, I'm sure I'm butchering her name. And he offhandedly makes a wish that she would fall in love with him, and the wish goes completely awry, unbeknownst to him, because he doesn't believe that, of course, making the wish would make it come true. So when things switch up on a dime, complete 180 by Nikki, he's thrown off by it, but of course, he doesn't believe that a wish could do that, so he goes along with it and reaps the benefits of it until things start going wrong for him and his relationship with her and with the people around him. And I have to say that the performance by Inde Neverette is absolutely fantastic. I think that it's honestly an Oscar-worthy performance. She put her heart and soul into this movie, and watching one of the interviews where she said that, I believe she said that she locked herself in a room for 4 days, stayed up 4 days, and only watched scary movies to kind of prepare herself for this role and to really get into the character. I think that that's true dedication, especially for the performance that she put on, because she, in this movie, the way that her character acts, even before the switch, to me, I get the impression that she has something going on with herself that is affecting her to a degree that she puts a mask on. And so she puts up this front for her friends, and she really comes off like a manic pixie dream girl in the eyes of Bear, who the main character. And then when she switches up due to the wish, her character really feels like a person that is having a mental breakdown. And I'm not a mental health professional, but I do have experience with breakdowns, mental breakdowns. And the way that she is acting and the extremes that her emotions will go to, depending on the situation or just what's happening around her, feels honestly very real to me. And that is what made me terrified of her, because it feels like something that someone would really go through and what they could really do. Now, of course, watching the movie, I know that this is not actually Nikki. It's whatever is inhabiting her body to make the wish come true is acting this way. And it's clearly not human, and it doesn't know how humans act, I guess. So it's just going off of their wish verbatim and will do anything in its power to make that wish come true and make it its number one goal, even if that includes not taking care of the vessel that it inhabits to make that wish come true. But yeah, that performance by her was just absolutely amazing. It made me afraid of Nikki as a person, even outside of, not even, I'll call it a demon. I'm not sure if it really is a demon, but we'll just call it a demon. I wasn't even afraid of the demon. I was afraid of, because it never actually does anything supernatural per se. It has this one scene where it kind of takes action. It kind of walks backwards, but instead of it being backwards, it's actually just her performing the. She walked forward, and instead of walking backwards, she actually just goes in reverse, as if you're rewinding a VHS tape. And that's, from what I remember, really the only kind of supernatural thing that happens. But outside of that, it's just Nikki. It's just a person being controlled by this thing, but that thing doesn't have anything special going on. It's just doing what it can do to make the wish come true. But outside of that, if that wish wasn't there controlling her, I could believe that a person would be like this. And that's what makes it absolutely terrifying, because she has her ups and she has her downs, and when she completely loses it, it's not even in a way that doesn't make sense, where she just completely loses touch with reality and starts going absolutely insane. There's a build-up. There's a lot of tension in this movie and a lot of build-up in this movie, and it is played to perfection. There are long periods of time, I want to say 20, 25 minutes, of just straight, unbroken build-up of tension in this movie. And it does it a few times, and each time is more effective than the last, because you don't know what's going to happen. She becomes a character that is so unpredictable. Oh, excuse me, I had a little burp there. Oh, I just had another one. She becomes a character that becomes so unpredictable that you really don't know what to expect. And it's, of course, not going to be anything crazy, because, like I said, there's really nothing supernatural that she does. But just what she can do as a person is absolutely terrifying, because there's scenes in this movie where they're out in public and she starts to freak out, and you become scared of the consequences of what she ends up doing and what it could mean for Bear, who is the main character. And yeah, that to me was just terrifying. I will say Michael Johnston also does a great job in this movie. He is the main character, Bear. He does a fantastic job as well. I don't want to say that he doesn't put on as good of a performance as Inde, because her character is definitely the forefront of the movie. So she has a lot to do and a more emotionally taxing role. But him playing Bear, he does a fantastic job. Bear's the guy who makes the wish for Nikki to fall in love with him, and at first he's kind of innocent. He, of course, doesn't believe that the wish came true, so he thinks that Nikki really does just like him, and it takes him a little while to really not figure out what's going on, but to come to a point where he now believes that she's acting this way because of the wish. So there's points in the movie where Nikki, and now I'm getting into spoilers. So here's your warning, spoiler warning. But there's points in the movie where Nikki freaks out. She comes back to the surface. She regains control of her body for a second or two, and she absolutely freaks the hell out. And of course, it scares him because she was being relatively normal, and then she all of a sudden just starts screaming, runs away from him, and then the entity takes control again, and now she's fine. And he's just like, "Yo, what's happening? What the heck is going on? What is wrong with you?" And that happens a couple of times in the movie. And each time he is coming to the conclusion that something is not right. And it eventually gets to a point where he is so afraid of Nikki that, and he understands that something is wrong with Nikki. Something is very wrong with Nikki. And he concludes that it is the wish that is causing her to be this way. And when I will give him credit in this. At first, he was really like, I mean, it's not great, but, I still like being with her, so I'm going to kind of go along with it. But then he does verbatim out loud say, I want to cancel the wish. And then he's unable to do that, so then he doesn't really know what to do after that. But there's one scene, and it's very haunting, where he's in bed with Nikki, and she's asleep. But as he's getting up to leave, the real Nikki is able to take control of her body because the entity itself is asleep or is just gone. So she comes to the surface. She can't control her body, but she's able to speak with Bear. And she asks him to kill her. And the only thing that he can really think to say is, what's so bad about being with me? And she says to him, I was never with you. And he just leaves with no intention of helping her. Now knowing that the person he's been with this whole time is not Nikki, and that Nikki is suffering underneath all of this. And he leaves with no intentions of helping her. And Michael Johnston does a very good job of playing a despicable but very complex character. And I will give him credit for that. He does a very good job. I will say, though, watching this movie, at first, there was two guys sitting next to me and my girlfriend. And it was two guys to my left. And at first, they were kind of really annoying because they were really talking throughout the beginning of the movie and not even whispering. They were just kind of talking out loud. And we started making jokes. When you first get a good look at Michael Johnston's face, they just started making jokes about him looking like Charlie Kirk. And it was annoying at first because, of course, they're talking through the movie. But I eventually just kind of got over it. And I will be honest, it was very funny. And by the end of it, they stopped talking throughout the middle portion of the movie and all the way to the end. But then at the end of it, they were both, and they were kind of like college bros, like college frat bros is how they came off. So they were like, man, that guy, he's such a bitch, bro. Oh, God, he should have killed himself at the start. It was so funny, dude, hearing them be so upset over the way he was acting that I was laughing. And they were laughing, too. They were making jokes, and I just started laughing with them at their jokes. And it was honestly great. It was very funny. But, yeah, I definitely recommend seeing this movie. Again, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. Hopefully I didn't spoil. If you haven't seen it, hopefully I didn't spoil too much for you. Because there's honestly, even knowing the things that I said in this video, it's still an experience on its own. Even if you know what happens in the end, that's really, honestly, to me, not the greatest thing about this movie. I think the greatest thing about this movie is the entirety of the journey. All of the anxiety, the stress, the tension, the fear that you feel throughout this entire movie. It is an experience. and I implore everyone, if you're an enjoyer of horror movies, or if you're not an enjoyer of horror movies, if you think you can stomach it, I implore you to watch it. It's not a gory horror movie. It's not very violent. There is a couple of violent scenes, and only one of them is very visceral. If that does disturb you, I would definitely recommend maybe skipping this one. But if you can handle that, I would definitely recommend watching this movie because it is just absolutely fantastic. Side note, though, I also saw the next day, yesterday, the Billie Eilish movie. My girlfriend wanted to go see that, and I'm not a huge Billie Eilish fan. I think that she has some good music, but it's really just not my thing. I went to go see the movie, and it was in 3D, and they only had 3D showing, and we went to go watch it. We had the whole theater to ourselves, so we were just talking throughout the whole thing. And I will not lie to you, I don't know if it was because we were able to just kind of make jokes and talk and laugh throughout the whole thing, but honestly, I enjoyed watching that as well. I thought she told me it was a documentary. I'd say it's like a mini doc. It's mostly just her performing her shows, and you're pretty much just watching an entire concert, but it's like different snippets of each show that she had throughout this tour. And then in between each and every one of those snippets is who is it? James Cameron, I believe, who directed it, asking her some interview questions, stuff like that. But it doesn't get very deep into the interview. It's just a couple of things here and there. So it's honestly mostly just a concert that you're watching. In 3D, though, I will say I have not seen a 3D movie in quite some time, and the 3D technology has gotten pretty good because there were a few times where there were shots from the middle of the crowd looking at the stage of Billie, and people had their arms up and waving around. Sorry, I just hit my mic stand. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. Waving their arms and everything like that. And it legitimately scared me because, like I said, there was no one in the theater with us. But when those people would raise their arms, it looked like there was people on the row beneath us raising their arms along to the song, and it freaked me out a couple of times. So I had to get up a couple of times just to check if there was actually anyone there. There wasn't, of course, but yeah, that 3D gotten pretty good. Also, there was a shot at the end where a bunch of confetti was just raining down because she blasted confetti at the end of her shows. Also looked very real. I will admit that. I mean, I doubt anyone's going to be able to watch this after this week because I think this week is the last showing for the Billie Eilish movie, but pretty good. I'll just add that in there. But yeah, Obsession, definitely recommend watching that. I'm going to end the video here, though, because we're getting about 18 minutes long. But if you listen to this whole thing, thank you. I really appreciate that. If you have any opinions on whether I should keep doing these, please let me know. I think I want to keep doing these because, like I said, I just like talking about stuff. And maybe I'll do not creepypasta readings, but maybe creepypasta readings because I like doing those. But we'll see how it goes. Again, let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.